Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am back on again with Gabriella Zauna. She is continuing to prove that she can do no wrong because she has just put out another single titled Cashmere Cologne, and I'm always excited to talk to her about it, but especially about this one. Gabriella, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing? How's life?
I am doing so good. I've been working on like a lot of new shit, so I'm excited. How are you doing? How's your day?
My day? This is the highlight of my day. I have
Ah,
nothing going on after this. I get to talk to cool people about their amazing music, and this is just another highlight in the week for sure.
I'm so honored.
Sweet. Well, just like last time, we're gonna break down your music. We're gonna talk about you as a person, and I want to hear about the lyrics on this song. But I have to say, and I have to sort of preface this for those that have not listened yet, and those that are going to listen, the song is so like grand and diverse sounding that you're almost distracted from the message that's coming across. But I know that there is a story here because there's always a good story, and I would love for you to sort of break it down and explain what it's all about.
Yeah, this one definitely feels very different for me, but it feels like this isn't my favorite one I've ever done, and so I feel like it really settled me into my artistry and like just kind of gave me a bigger idea of like what I want to achieve moving forward. And so I think the grandness of it makes it so it's powerful because that's kind of what the emotion that I was feeling at the time it was executed through the video. And I think the video is a great representation of how I was feeling. And so there's a lot of like anger in the song that I was feeling, a lot of jealousy, a lot of like negative emotion. Because the song has a very specific storyline. It's about like a real life experience too, so it's not like I wrote it in character.
Sure.
So do you want, should I just go for it?
Please, please.
Okay. So basically I had just kind of gotten out of this very confusing and toxic situationship with somebody, and my friend had just gotten into a relationship, and young love is very exciting. It's very like you want to show it off, and that's understandable
Yeah.
until it's not. And so she
So it gets
basically,
annoying.
the fuck yeah.
I
And
get that.
it was like her and her boyfriend were like in my face constantly, and I didn't want to see couples, but I was also happy for it at the same time. And basically, I just like their relationship was kind of being shoved in my face. It felt like that at least. And I kind of just wrote it about like how I like just I don't really know how to explain it. Like when someone starts dating somebody and you're out of that relationship and you're jealous,
Yeah.
and you it's confusing because you feel happy for them but you also really want what they have and you just couldn't get that.
Yeah, but you can't tell them that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of awkwardness. Not awkwardness, but more just like uncomfortability, especially when that person is your really good friend and you sort of lose them to that significant other because they're spending all their time with them.
Yeah, and like I have major jealousy problems, so I get jealous really fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like the person that was supposed to be there for me just wasn't, and instead was putting a boyfriend for me. And I am not about that. No, thank you.
No, 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 no.
Take a step back. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's more about like my own issue with like my internalized issue with that situationship that I was in, and kind of just being spiteful after that and just angry and just not in the mood to see like this fucking right in front of me.
I get that. And so why not write a great song about it?
Yeah,
But
jealousy.
but why the title Cashmere Cologne?
I knew you were gonna ask this.
Well, no, I mean I asked because the rest of your titles were also had great stories behind them. So I figured this one was no different.
Yeah, this one was, I mean, it's kind of, so with my synesthesia, I get textures a lot, right?
Yeah,
And the the friend that this is about, um, her textures, Cashmere. So I was planning on coming to her 17th birthday and giving her like a cologne that felt and smelled like cashmere to me.
that's cool.
And so basically, like the chorus is, "No, I won't come to your stupid tea party for one. I will show up with some bottle of cashmere colognes." That was the present I was going to be giving to her for her birthday. So I basically put like a little evil twist on the story and was like, "No, I'm not going to come to your party, but I'm going to fucking destroy it." So
Thanks.
yeah, basically it's the title of the present I was going to get her.
Got it.
Yeah.
So,
So
so as far as synesthesia goes, I did not know that you could also sense textures and like that
yeah.
relationship. That's again, and I've said it before and I'll say it forever. So jealous. So it's like a superpower. It's like a hidden superpower.
Sometimes
Maybe for good and bad.
yeah, because sometimes it's kind of weird because when there's a really good song, sometimes the synesthesia for it's really gross.
Right.
And so like makes me not want to listen to it. But it's also I wish I could see through like I wish I for a second I could not see what it's like. So I
Yeah.
just to listen to something and not see any numbers or
Sure.
all
Now
that.
it'd be nice to turn it on and off. That makes sense. And get overbearing.
I think it's a pretty cool thing though.
I
So
mean, I hope so. Gotta live with it. So learn to accept it, I suppose. We also need to talk about the production, of course. And like I said before we started recording, I sensed a real stylistic change here. I, no joke, had to listen to the song maybe 5 or 6 times to really grasp all that I was hearing because it comes at you from it feels like 20 different sides. There's a whole lot of like lo-fi vocals going on. Your vocals sit a little bit more back in the mix, which I enjoyed as a change. There's these warping effects within the instrumentation, which I can only imagine that's what a stroke feels like. I hope I never have to experience that, but it's sort of what I felt. And it just it feels like you're melting into your world. And I say all those things in the highest of regards with the most compliments behind them. And now that I'm done rambling on, let's hear about the production. Did you again enlist? I think his name was Oliver to help you out with this.
no, this I co-produced it with this guy named Nick. Love Nick.
Okay, Nick's awesome. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, Nick's great. And so it kind of it's cool because we watched it evolve from something that completely was not that. It was very like lo-fi and I wasn't anticipating it to go where it went towards the end of the song because towards the end of the song it gets like
Yeah, yeah,
um and I guess for me it wasn't important. Obviously the lyrics are important, but the feeling that was captured from the guitars and from the way that the synths were building, I
right,
guess that was way more important to me to capture that feeling than the lyrics rather. Um,
totally.
and I feel like the lyrics just kind of like complement it. I feel like
I
no,
fully agree. The
yeah,
lyrics are not the center, and I'll be honest, like your vocals are not even the center of the song. It's more of an experience rather than just like a standard verse A, chorus A, like back and forth. It is so spatially out there that it's like you really do need to listen more than once to really just realize what you're hearing, which in my personal opinion is the kind of music I like to consume in my normal listening habits rather than like whatever's mainstream poppy on the radio.
dude, you know what's my favorite thing to do? I love listening to music and not knowing what the fuck they're playing.
Yeah,
What is that? Is that a flute? Is that a horn? Is that
yeah,
like for example, Glass Animals?
totally.
Glass Animals,
Yeah.
they do like really crazy experimental stuff.
Yep.
So in their music, I have no idea what they're using half the time. I guess I'm like, oh, that's a flute, it's warped, but who knows? Maybe, like it could be like some weird synth that they made, but they're very good at like experimental stuff. And so I feel like I also wanted to capture a lot of I just really want to experiment with like where I want to go with my music, and I feel like I really
Totally.
heading in that direction because it feels so fun, you know?
Right. And no, and I think that I've mentioned this before with every release that you put out so far is like the more that you make the same kind of music and the more that you make the same kind of sound, people expect that same thing. But especially early on in your career, when you really are experimenting and doing a little bit of everything, the more you try new things, the more creatively open you are to just kind of doing whatever the hell you want to do, the more longevity you have as an artist. Because like, for example, you could look back 5 years from now and say, you could pick one song and say, I'm going to craft an entire album around that sound. And then you could pick another song and create 10 songs based off that sound rather than just sort of like being all over the place with it.
I get what you're saying. I think that when you take, for example, if I wanted to look at Glass Animals and look at one of their albums and be like, I want to do all of this experimental stuff,
Sure.
it wouldn't translate to me. It would
No,
translate to a Glass Animals type beat.
sure, sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but anyways, yeah, I just think like being experimental with your stuff is very important, and it's essential to like finding out what you love. And like something I always think about when I'm making music is, how am I going to do this? Imagine I was playing this at a show, how would this sound? And obviously you
Be
can
tough.
change um arrangements, you can change arrangements of
Yeah,
songs obviously to make it more live fitting.
sure.
Um, but I always just love thinking about like what would this sound like live, and I also base that off of the direction I'm going in with that specific song. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I wasn't going to ask you about like live touring or anything, but I'm a little happy that you brought it up. I imagine that too when it comes to more complex music like this. I don't know what you would do because so much of the sounds I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what instrument or what is creating them. I just don't know how difficult it would be to make it. Do you have any idea? I'm sure you do.
I I I know I want there to be like a crazy guitar solo. You know,
Well,
like I
yeah.
want to add to that at the end. I want to extend the loop at the end and just keep like I want to play the solo at the end. Um, like obviously I know that I need to like put out a project first, and I need to like
Yeah.
gain a following in order to play shows. But that's like I mean, I think I've told you about this. Like I've always wanted to just play shows and just like see people and just have that type of fun, because
Yeah.
whenever I go to shows, like I've been going to shows recently since COVID not lifted, but you know, when people
Yeah.
start going back on tour. Like I
Anything
went,
good?
yeah, I've been to the Roxy like 2 3 times ever
Oh
since,
yeah.
in the past like month and a half. It's been pretty
That's
crazy.
awesome. Yeah, my first LA based show is coming up this weekend and I'm very excited about it.
Who is it?
Japanese breakfast.
I love the Japanese breakfast. Where are they
Yeah,
playing?
the Regent.
Oh my god, I just might go.
Should go. It's gonna be awesome.
I just might go.
Vaxxed only, wear your masks. You can go, but
Of
yeah.
course.
But yeah, I'm very excited. That's
Yeah.
awesome though. That's awesome. Yeah, the Roxy, obviously legendary venue. I would see anyone there just to be in that building.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Well, we don't have to focus on it because you've got so much more music to make and to put out. So we'll talk about it when shows actually start getting planned.
Yeah.
What I do want to talk about, and there's no real answer to this, is more of an observation. Okay, so as far as genre goes, like I said, I feel that you've deviated a little bit in your sound, but in the best way possible. You've expanded your horizons in a way that's setting an amazing base for the future. I'm sensing a lot of what I would call dream pop elements in a way. It's the only thing that I could really put my finger on. And and I want to know, how would you categorize your music if you were forced to?
Dream pop. Elaborate.
Like 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 again, you're kind of in your own league. So I could be way off base and that's just me spitballing, but like it is pop in a way. It's definitely under the umbrella in some capacity. It is dreamy and trippy and atmospheric in ways. I sort of equate it to like like beach house in a way,
Ah,
but
interesting.
like a more vibrant and uplifting version. And again, no right answers, no wrong answers. It's really just, people interpret music in different ways. I just want to know what you would call it, because I've been thinking about it and I continue to have a tough time.
I was actually just on the phone with my friend and she was telling one of her friends about me and she's like, "Oh, like one of the artists I know. She's like pop, but she's not pop. She's kind of anti-pop, but she's not anti-pop. She's kind of dark, but she
Yeah.
just was explaining all these interesting
That's what I'm saying.
um
Again, total compliment.
no, yeah,
Like,
I
people should
sorry.
strive to be like, what the hell am I listening to?
I think the most complimentary part about all of it is that you can't find a way to describe it, and like that's kind
Yes,
of like what I'm shooting for. You know what I'm saying?
I do,
And
but I think that keeps people thinking about you. Think about all the music that you passively listen to, and you're like, yeah, that was fine. And then you move on to the next thing and you say that was fine. But music that continues to challenge you and it stays with you. It stays with you and it reminds you. And it, like I said, like as far as streaming purposes go, if your song was plain and boring, I would have listened once and been like, that was solid. But the fact that I actually needed to listen 5 or 6 times to like be like, what is happening in my brain right now? Like, you want all the streams, you want the listens.
I mean, yeah, my ultimate goal is to just like make music that people are confused by, but also resonate
Sure,
with.
sure.
Because I also was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I like making my music broad too.
Yeah,
Like I really try hard to do that, and I know that I write about like very specific things, so it can be hard to kind of connect to that specific thing.
yeah,
But something that I do love about writing is that it can be public, of course, because this song is going to be public. It's then people are going to listen to it, and they're going to, not really know what it's about unless they hear what it's about, if that makes sense, or if they watch the video. I don't know if the. Did you think the video translated what I was like the story between the like? I want to know your interpretation of what you thought the video was
the
about.
next thing I was going to bring up, but I'm happy you did it for me. Yes, so for those that don't know, I got the world premiere of the music video just before we started here. The music video itself is awesome, and I'm actually really happy that I got to listen to the song before seeing the video to make the connections and even knowing what the song was about. Knowing the context of the song, knowing what it's about and how you feel about it, I honestly do feel that that message came across. And I think that also the video itself is so complex in a way that there's so much happening while you're trying to focus on the music that I would need to go back and watch a few times and actually listen to the lyrics and listen to the message and try to pair it up with what's happening in the video itself. So again, you create an amazing, cinematically beautiful to watch video that deserves all the watches. But at the same time, it's just as complex as everything else that you've made. So that I think that it fits you as an artist.
So I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, that makes me happy. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, it's really good. It's really, really good. And there's a surprise at the end featuring an amazing animal that I won't name. So you got to watch till the end.
I am terrified of horses. I don't know what I was thinking.
Spoiler.
I don't know. I there was okay, so I had a dream about the video, and that's kind of where I take a lot of my inspiration for visuals is.
Sure.
And so um I saw like a horse in my dream and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool, like a white big ass horse riding through past like all the destruction, being like, yeah, I did that. And like now I'm gonna fade away into the fog and you're not gonna see me again. Like it's kind of like this anonymous thing. And
Uh-huh.
I think the horse being white and me wearing white really symbolized like the juxtaposition between purity and destruction, which
Totally.
I really wanted to show. And so when the horse got there, it's this big horse. I do want to show you a picture of it, like me next to the horse. It is
Yeah.
massive. And I was terrified because I'm not good with like big animals or like big things. They
I don't
kind of
blame you.
scares me. but she was cute. Look, this is her.
Oh my goodness. Such a
Like,
great picture.
mind
That's
you,
a great picture.
I'm wearing heels. Like I'm wearing like a chunk of platforms, and
Yeah,
I'm like 5'2". So like,
that's a
I,
big ass horse.
yeah, huge, huge. Look,
Wow.
massive. I
That's
was
awesome.
terrified.
I just like I instantly imagine you calling up the horse people and like, I'd like to order one horse, please, for a music video. So yeah, how does that happen? How do you do that?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I personally didn't do it.
Yeah,
Like,
I figured.
but yeah, we kind of just like figured out a horse company. Because I don't have a production company for my videos yet.
Sure.
So like, I don't. We kind of just like my team and I kind of figured out like where to find this horse, and then like my mom is a big savior. She like gave them a call and was like, hey, we got to get a horse.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Then I feel like your parents have to be pretty supportive of what you're doing at this point. You made it your life.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's
No,
awesome.
yeah, this is what I'm gonna do.
Nice. No, I'm happy for you. You're doing it. Um, I want to know though, especially because you've gone through this process of creating songs and going through the videos and really just going from writing to final product. What are some tips and tricks that you'd like to pass off to those thinking about starting a career in music?
Experimenting, and that's been like a huge part of our conversation today. But I think
Yeah,
through this song, I've learned a lot about experimentation, how important it is. And so, like, I think something that I've had a hard time with was sticking to the same sounds. Like, if I mean, the first three songs that I have are like horrible mixes. I do not like the way that they sound. And I used kind of the same, like, they're different songs, but I used the same type of like reverb on them. I kind of just like stuck to
yeah,
what was comfortable, I guess.
sure.
And that's never really the way to go, because if you don't venture outside what you're comfortable with, you're not going to find where you should be at.
All
And
right.
so, yeah, experimentation, dude. It's
Okay.
important.
And then going off of that, what advice would you give to Gabriella a year ago?
Learn how to fucking mix, please. I was bad at it, really bad at it. I mean,
Yeah,
I still don't think I'm like the greatest, but like bad, bad. And just like maybe being more open to, because like, let's see, what was a year ago? September. I was kind of very closed off to co-producing and like collaboration.
yeah,
Um, so I just say like, because without collaboration, I would not have that song, because it was like Nick came up with some really cool ideas, and then
sure.
guitar parts I really liked, and then he was like, I don't think so, and I was like, no, we're putting them in, and so then we like translated them to some cool synths and pianos, and then like what I did is I played the guitar, like I played the regular guitar, right, and then I doubled another track. I pitched it up an octave, and then I
Okay.
doubled the track again. I pitched it down, so it's like three guitars that are playing the same exact thing, but it's part of what makes the song so grand.
Yeah,
It's just adding like
that's awesome.
octaves, I guess.
See, I know absolutely nothing about production or mixing or mastering, but I would love to learn all about it. Like looking at one of those like master boards that you see pictures of or whatever, it looks like the most intimidating thing ever, but nothing motivates me more than to be like, let me hear your song and make it 10 times better, something like that.
Very intimidating to
That's
see them.
awesome.
Yeah, hardware intimidates me. That's why I just have software.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But like you said, when we originally first started talking, you said that you were the only person, producing your music and getting it all done. And now that you've opened yourself up to outside collaborators and people that can really put the finishing touches on, do you feel now that you've made the right decision doing that? Or is it more a matter of like, you want to continue to hone your craft?
Well, with the project that I'm working on right now, um, I think there's some songs that are meant to be just me, and I
Sure.
feel like I want to keep it that way. But then there's others that feel like I need an outside opinion on this. And I mean, there's one song on my upcoming EP that basically I have one of my producers, and he comes here and he sits on this couch and he sends me like samples of like instruments on his computer, and then I basically produce it here. So I mean, there's stuff. The 3 songs that I've co-produced on have been completely different processes. Like
Sure.
Oliver was over Zoom because he's in fucking Sweden.
Right. Right.
And Nick was at his place. I brought my computer and I'd send stuff to him. And then my other producer, Harry, he comes here and he sends me stuff and I produce it on there. So I mean, it's just like what the song calls for. But I mean, yeah, there's some songs that I don't want to share with anybody, and I feel like I would really just like to stick to where I want the direction going and not have any outside input because it's
Good.
that important to me, you know?
Right. And no, and I fully agree. Like I've said in the past, because you're just you and you're the one that has creative control to do whatever you want, you get final say and you do what you want to do. And if you feel that things are better off being just you, then others can wait.
Well, yeah, that's the way to go.
I agree. I agree. Gabriella, I could sit here and I could pick your brain and talk to you for 3 days straight, but I think that I've taken up way more than the time that you allowed for today. So I am going to wrap things up here, and I'm going to ask you the same question that I always end things with for those that have not heard you yet, for those that are going to discover you from this. What is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Oh God.
Your favorite question, but a necessary question.
What do I want to tell people from this song?
How about your work as a whole? What
Just
can
like
they expect from you, and what can you say as they dive in?
just more experimentation. I really do think like the project that I am working on is very diverse, and I don't ever want to stick to one genre, but I want to keep it a Gabriella song, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So I mean, I don't know. Just I hope people are interested in the versatility, and like that's kind of like what I go for. I don't know. Is that is that fine?
Hey, there's no wrong answers here, but I think it's fine. What I am going to say, what I'm going to end on here is that for those that have not listened to any of Gabriella Zauna's music, take the time, listen to it, watch the videos. But we're focusing on Cashmere Cologne here today. By the time this comes out, the song will be out, the video will be out. Check it out, listen it, make all the connections, follow along for more, and become a fan like I have. It's really just amazing, mind-bending music that makes you think, and
Ah,
I cannot recommend it enough.
that makes me so happy, Austin.
And I want to thank you as well for always providing an amazing interview and great answers, and just everything that you're about is so awesome.
I feel like I'm always like so nervous in this. I swear to God, I normally don't talk like this.
No, you're fine.
But I'm happy that I could like elaborate on,
Thank you.
because I think it's an important one to elaborate on.
Always appreciated.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much again for your time. I look forward to speaking again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope we run into each other at a show, and it's going to happen one of these days.
Hell yes.
Awesome. Thank you again. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you, Austin.
Bye bye.
Bye.